Karen's HOA fines hit like a sledgehammer, but stealing my treehouse. That's war. I'm Sam, 16, and my backyard fortress built with Dad before he left us my last stand against her tyranny. Karen, our nosy neighbor and HOA dictator, declared my treehouse an eyesore last week. By Monday, she'd bribed the city inspector, slapped a $500 fine on Mom, and chained my sanctuary to her SUV, dragging it to her pristine lawn like a trophy. Mia, my best friend, filmed the whole thing, her shaky camera catching Karen's smug grin as planks splintered and my childhood cracked. "It's for the community," Karen crowed, her voice dripping with fake sugar. Community, my ass, she just wanted her view of the cul-de-sac unobstructed. I stared at the wreckage from my bedroom window, my fists clenched around the remote Dad rigged years ago. See, Karen didn't know the treehouse wasn't just boards and nails. Dad, a tinkerer with a vendetta against busybodies, installed a hidden motor and wheels, our secret prank to mess with anyone who got too close. The remote in my hand could move it anywhere, anytime. Mia, perched on my desk, whispered, "Sam, you're not seriously thinking," but my glare shut her up. Karen thought she'd won. She didn't know I was about to roll her victory into hell. Tuesday night, under a moonless sky, Mia and I crept across the street. Karen's lawn was a sterile shrine, plastic flamingos, manicured hedges, and my treehouse, padlocked like a prisoner. Mia's flashlight danced over the damage, my comic stash shredded, the rope ladder cut, Dad's old toolbox gutted. Fury burned my throat. "She's gonna pay," I hissed, flipping the remote switch. The treehouse groaned, its wheels screeching as it lurched forward, mowing down Karen's flamingos like bowling pins. Mia stifled a laugh, but I wasn't stopped. I steered it toward her precious rosebushes, the ones she bragged won best in show last year. Thorns crunched under the weight, and then crash, the treehouse clipped her mailbox, leaving a gash in her perfect curb appeal. Karen burst out in her robe, screaming bloody murder. "You delinquents," she shrieked, spotting us in the flashlight's glare. Mia froze, but I hit the gas harder, sending the treehouse careening toward her koi pond. Fish flopped in the water as the structure tilted, teetering on the edge. Karen's facerid, veins bulging, was almost worth the trouble. Almost. Then the sirens wailed. "Sam, we're screwed," Mia whispered, tugging my arm. But I couldn't stop. Not yet. Karen had taken too much Dad's memory, Mom's peace, my fight. She didn't just steal a treehouse, she stole my last piece of him. The cops showed up, lights flashing, and pointed fingers. Karen, playing victim, sobbed about vandalism and juvenile delinquents. The officer, a grizzled guy named Torres, eyed the chaos-smashed roses, drowning fish, my treehouse half submerged, and raised an eyebrow at me. "Kid, you got a death wish?" he asked, cuffing me. Mia tried to explain, her video evidence ignored as Karen wailed louder. Mom arrived, her face a mix of fury and heartbreak, and I felt the remote slip from my pocket into the mud. Karen's smirk as they hauled me away said she thought she'd won again. She hadn't seen the finale. At the station, I kept quiet. Mia, loyal to the end, slipped Torres her phone, the video looping Karen's SUV dragging my treehouse. Torres's jaw tightened. "This changes things," he muttered, uncuffing me. Back home, Mom grounded me for life, but her voice cracked when she hugged me. "Your dad would have been proud," she whispered, and I choked. Mia and I planned the real counterattack that night. Karen's HOA meeting was tomorrow, her big moment to parade my treehouse as her community cleanup win. She didn't know we'd rigged the game. Wednesday, the HOA gathered in Karen's backyard, her voice droning about property values. My treehouse sat center stage, a tarp hiding its wheels. Mia, pretending to be a curious kid, slipped through the crowd, the spare remote in her hoodie. I watched from our roof, heart pounding. Karen gestured to the treehouse, crowing, "This eyesore's gone tomorrow." That's when Mia hit the button. The treehouse roared to life, tarp flying off, wheels spinning. Gasps turned to screams as it barreled through Karen's garden, flattening her prized tulips and crashing into her pergola, which collapsed in a splintered heap. Karen's face drained of color, her clipboard hitting the dirt. The crowd froze, then erupted. Neighbors, fed up with her fines and rules, started clapping slow, mocking. "Nice work, Karen," one yelled, pointing at the wreckage. Torres, sipping coffee nearby, just shrugged. Mia high-fived me as I climbed down, the remote back in my hand. Karen stammered, trying to spin it, but her reign was crumbling. The HOA voted her out that night, her own rules turning on her like a trap. My treehouse, battered but defiant, was towed home. But victory tasted like ash. Mom sat me down later, her voice quiet. "Sam, you're like your dad, brilliant, reckless. But this fight it's cost us." The fines piled up, and Karen's lawyer was circling. We'd won the battle, but the war left scars. I stared at the treehouse, its wheels stilled, and realized I'd traded Dad's memory for revenge. Mia squeezed my shoulder, silent. The remote felt cold in my hand, a reminder, sometimes, even when you win, you lose something you can't take back. The treehouse loomed in our backyard, a battered monument to my rebellion. Mom's words echoed, winning wasn't free. Karen's lawyer sent a letter the next morning, demanding $10,000 for property damage. Mom's hands shook as she read it, her diner job barely covering rent. Mia, ever the optimist, suggested crowdfunding, but I saw the truth. Me stunt had buried us. Guilt gnawed harder than Karen's smug grin ever could. I'd wanted to protect Dad's memory, but I'd wrecked Mom's peace instead. The remote, now useless, sat on my desk like a taunt. Mia dragged me to the community center that weekend, where neighbors whispered about Karen's ousting. "You're a hero, Sam," old Mr. Jenkins said, clapping my shoulder. Hero? I felt like a fool. Then Mia nudged me toward a table where kids were sketching plans for a new treehouse, Sam's Fortress 2.0, they called it. My throat tightened. These weren't just neighbors, they were tired of Karen's reign too. Mrs. Lopez, who'd lost her garden to HOA fines, handed me a check for $200. "Fight back, kid," she said. The crowd support sparked something. Maybe I wasn't done. Mia and I hatched the final plan. Karen's lawsuit hinged on her victim act, but Mia's video was gold. We edited it, overlaying clips of Karen's past HOA bullying, fining widows, killing gardens, banning kids' bikes. We posted it online, tagging every neighbor's group chat. By Monday, it had 5,000 views. Comments flooded in, "Karen's a tyrant. Save Sam's treehouse." The local news picked it up, and Karen's lawyer called, voice tight, offering to drop the suit if we deleted the video. I smirked. No deal. Tuesday's HOA meeting was chaos. Neighbors packed the room, chanting my name. Karen, cornered, tried to spin her sob story, but Mr. Jenkins stood, holding a petition with 300 signatures to dissolve the HOA. Her face crumpled as the vote passed. The crowd roared, and Mia hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. My treehouse stayed, and Karen's power vanished. But that night, alone, I climbed its creaky ladder. The stars blurred through tears. Dad would have loved the fight, but he'd hate the cost. Mom's stress, our debt, my anger. Morning brought a surprise, a GoFundMe from the neighbors, raising $12,000. Mom cried, hugging me. "Your trouble, Sam, but you're ours." The money covered the fines, but the scars lingered. I fixed the treehouse, painting Dad's hideout on the door, a promise to fight smarter next time. Karen moved away, her lawn signs gone, but her shadow stayed, a reminder that revenge cuts both ways.